The episode starts with Rhea Royce, hunting. And who's that goofy guy? This lovely couple has an interesting dynamic, it seems, and I would have liked to see more than 30 seconds of it, but Damon pulls some horse whispering shit and kills his wife. And how did he do that with the horse? What was his plan if the horse didn't fucking fall on its back? And what if Rhea realized what he was here for a moment earlier and rode him down? I guess it's the enigmatic rogue prince. He wouldn't have a plan. But this seems suspiciously like the later seasons of a show I watched once. Viserys and the gang are going to Driftmark. Otto is leaving and tells Rhaenyra to prepare her son Aegon to rule, or to be at Rhaenyra's mercy, who would kill her half-siblings if she came to power. He impresses upon his daughter that Rhaenyra is dangerous and not innocent as Alicent believes her to be. The high-tide exterior looks good. Viserys arrives and is received by Laena and some bloke. It is incredibly disrespectful by Corlys to not receive the king himself, but he has all the power at this point as the king himself came to him to ask for a match for his heir. In King's Landing, Alicent is looking at the Heart Tree and presumably thinking about Rhaenyra, as the Godswood has been an important place for their relationship. Larry Strong is there, making comparisons between Alicent and the non-native flower blooming there. For those book fans who know about the lemon tree theory, I think this is a clear nod to that. A non-native plant, Bravos, this lemon tree mural in the background. Come on. Sly Larys manipulating Alicent, saying one thing but communicating another. It reminded me of Varys, who is clearly supposed to parallel Larys, and I like it. Larys also openly offers to be an ally to Alicent while exposing Rhaenyra and turning Alicent against her. The high-tide interior also looks good. Rhaenys shakes her cousin's hand. Oh, he's a prankster. Corlys is very courteous, but exercises the power Viserys gave him by coming to him. There's some name business, you've seen the episode. Two cousins agree to an open marriage. Corlys is excited about the Laenor-Rhaenyra match, but Rhaenys is worried because her son is gay. But Corlys thinks heterosexuality will grow on him. Rhaenys is also worried as she thinks people wouldn't want Rhaenyra to be queen, and if there's a civil war, her son, the king consort, could be caught up in it. Corlys reminds her of House Valerian's power and is all ambition as he was when Laena was to marry Viserys, while Rhaenys was worried for Laena then as well. This contrast between the couple is further illustrated when Corlys says he'll do whatever necessary to make Rhaenys queen, but Rhaenys says that she's put the matter behind her. Joffrey Lonmouth likes the open marriage idea and loves that Rhaenyra has a paramour of her own. Criston has been thinking, and apparently it's not his strong suit. He wants to run away with Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra isn't very excited about this plan, in which she forsakes the Iron Throne, leaves her dragon behind, leaves her family behind, and runs around with a sellsword who is wanted for breaking his Kingsguard vows. She tells Criston about the open marriage thing, which Criston hates. He doesn't want to be her side piece and cares about his honor and his soiled white cloak, the only thing he has. Viserys arrives and falls at King's Landing. Alicent interrogates Criston about Rhaenyra and Daemon, and not very well, but Criston doesn't even let her finish and assumes she's talking about his relationship with Rhaenyra and confesses. He requests Alicent to sentence him to death instead of castration or torture, but Alicent lets him go. This model just won't stop growing. Viserys is pretty fucked up, and Mellos is ignoring Orwell's suggestion of treating him with poultices instead of his leeches. This poor treatment looks deliberate, but I don't know what Mellos hopes to accomplish with this. Does he want to let Viserys die? If so, he's hung on for quite long, and what would Mellos and presumably Otto gain from his death right now? Maybe he wants to just keep him weak. Viserys is conscious about his legacy, like a dying man, and wishes he'd been tested. I mean, if he's done this much stupid shit remaining untested, I don't know what he would have done if he was tested. Valarians arrive at King's Landing, and we see Rhaenys' dragon, Meleys, for the first time. At the welcome feast, there's Jason Lannister, still a prick, Rhea Royce's cousin, and enter the Valarians. And then Daemon. He just won't leave them alone. Viserys is uncomfortable but has to let Daemon sit. He starts his speech and is interrupted by this. I have mixed feelings about this scene. The 5-episode build-up to it is great, and Alicent's turn in this episode is done well. She supported Rhaenyra, who lied to her and got Otto sent away, leaving Alicent alone. Her feelings of jealousy towards Rhaenyra are also established well, and her thinking Rhaenyra to be an enemy and a threat to her children, it's all great, and an improvement on the book in my opinion. I liked the music, Alicent calling Rhaenyra stepdaughter, and the green dress meant something to me as a book fan, but what I didn't like was the contrived exposition by Larys to Harwin about the beacon on the high tower. I know they had to give non-book fans a reason to be excited about the scene, but it didn't make a lot of sense. All the high towers are wearing green, and this information shouldn't mean anything to Harwin unless he's privy to all of Larys' schemes, which I don't think he is. Viserys then continues his speech and informs the audience of the lavish wedding plans and the tournaments the show doesn't have the budget for. Rhaenyra dances with Laenor while Crispin sulks, and Joffrey Lonmouth figures out that he's the paramour. Alicent meets her green-wearing uncle, Lord Herbert Hightower, and his green-wearing wife. Herbert ensures Alicent Old Town's support. Rhea Royce's cousin accuses Daemon of Rhea Royce's murder, and I love Matt Smith's delivery here. Every episode he delivers some line in a memorable way, except the episode where he doesn't speak. Anyway, Daemon says that he means to claim Runestone, Rhea Royce's castle, and Gerald just leaves, after accusing the king's brother of murder in the king's presence. Viserys and Lionel think Daemon's sus. Laena and Daemon dance and flirt while Joffrey tells Laenor the Crispin news. He then tells Crispin the Crispin news, and Crispin is not thrilled. Rhaenyra is dancing with Harwin, and Daemon replaces him. He tries to convince Rhaenyra to not marry the boring Laenor, but Rhaenyra sees right through him and throws his lesson from last episode in his face. Viserys looks angrily at them, and suddenly there's a shriek, and we get to this ridiculous scene. Criston Cole is beating the shit out of Joffrey Lonmouth, and no one's stopping him. When Laenor tries to stop him, he punches Laenor in the face, and these two randos shove him. He is the prince consort, and heir to the wealthiest house in Westeros. This doesn't happen in this world. I'll come back to this. In the chaos, Viserys can't find Rhaenyra, so Lionel signals Harwin in to retrieve her, and Harwin, for the first time, really looks like the strongest knight in the realm. Viserys gets a nosebleed, and we see Joffrey's face annihilated. Very graphic. There's a haphazard wedding in the hall where Viserys falls again, and Alicent goes to meet a homicidal and suicidal Crispin alone. And yeah, there's a rat. The final few scenes of this episode were infuriating. There has been some unrealistic shit in earlier episodes, like the Daemon John Wick thing, actual deaths in the tournament in the pilot, and Rhea Royce's death early in this episode, but Joffrey Lonmouth's death is the worst. Some people complained about Criston's motivation to kill Joffrey, but I think they established his mental state well, given the time that they had. He was rejected by Rhaenyra, he forfeited his life in the scene with Alicent, and he feels the loss of his honor has reduced him to nothing. He feels like he has nothing to lose, and his incredibly violent rage was just HBO reminding us that this is a violent show, and trying to meet some stupid expectations of Game of Thrones weddings. The problem with this is that there are no consequences for Criston. You cannot kill a high-born man and strike the prince consort and live, no matter who vouches for you, much less stain the Kingsguard. There's no way Laenor wouldn't want Criston's head, and there's no way he wouldn't get it. In the book, Criston kills Joffrey in Attorney, which counts as an accident and makes sense in the story. This is just laughable. It ruined an episode that had some of my favourite scenes so far of the show, and has made me a bit doubtful about future episodes. I hope they handle the time jump well next episode and stay a bit more logical moving forward. This was almost season 8 bad. But I'm still excited for the time jump and the new cast. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more. Cheers.